intro about me, the organization, and what we have in store. And after that, of course, the line is open for questions, but type in your questions. All right, so my name is Geetha Thiagarajan, and I'm part of the HR team here in Societie Generale. I am the business partner for the technology division here, and been with the organization for a little over 3 years. So about the organization, if hoping that you've done some homework. If not, here it is. We are a 150-year-old organization, and we have about 2 locations in India. One is Bangalore, and the other one is in Chennai, and about 4 different offices. So 3 offices in Bangalore and 2 offices in Chennai. So that's really the high level about the organization, and I'm sure you all have logged in with an expectation of understanding what does this organization have to offer for their women candidates or the women staff who are in this organization. So I'm just kind of take you through some of the things that we do for the women folks. Of course, another point that I'd like to mention is you might not have heard too much about us in the past. The reason being we were a little media shy in the past, so you might not have heard too much about us in the past. But like you already see, we have we are treading the path and picking up the path like any other organization, and engaging socially as well. So you could look us up on our LinkedIn page or our FB. Please do note that when you look us up on LinkedIn, look up for SGGSC, because SG is a global entity. SG is Society Generale. It's a global entity, and SGGSC, that's a Global Solutions Center, is the one which is very India-centric. Somebody is not in mute. Yeah, thank you. All right. Just go on mute, please, so that I am also not disturbed. Okay, thank you for that. So LinkedIn page, look up for SGGSC. So you will see a lot of updates that we keep putting up on that site, which is more about what are we doing as an organization, what are our recent interests, what are we embarking on. Sometimes even what are we going to embark on is all on the SGGSC LinkedIn page. A lot of our staff also follow it to know what's happening in the organization. And all right, so of course we are here because it's SGGSC is in Bangalore because it's business. While it is work, and work, there is also the we also bring the balance to work, where you will find the culture of the organization is we're trying to be really like a cool organization. So a lot of stuff that we've did in the past has changed. As recently as now, we even changed the dress code policy where we as a bank, it's always formally dressed and so on, but in line with catching up with the millennials and expectations from the staff and so on. Oh, sorry, somebody's not on mute. Thank you. I request you guys to go on mute. Thank you. So yeah, I was talking about the culture of the organization. So I'll just introduce some of the things that we do in the organization, which will probably give you a picture of the culture of the organization. We have an employee club where there are a lot of this committee takes care of all the cultural activities, be it sports, games, or even as recently as last month, we did have the Family Day celebration, which is something that this committee takes care of. And the representation of this team, again, is framed by the staff who are in the organization. So we do not have like a separate team who wants, who runs this, but a lot of them were interested in a lot of them who are interested in doing what they want pick up one of the initiatives. So we even have a women's rugby team, and there is a band, and there's a dance club, and a whole lot of other things. As you explore, you find more about this club. And every year, there are people who take ownership of running this club, and it has been really successful. And the success is only because people love doing what they do, and they kind of engage themselves with this. Some of the other things is the digital initiative that we've embarked on. So we have this program called Digital for All, and as part of the program, we have given out tabs to all the staff, and we start off with the laptops as well. So it's half the organization is now issued with a laptop, and the rest will be issued now. See, I'm consciously using this word laptops will be issued for now, because being a bank, we are we would really like to be safe from a data protection perspective, and hence it was only computers. But then with the change in the market, with the expectation people have, though being an organization which is 150 years old, we've been trying to change a lot, and this is one of them. And the other one is the Catalyst program. Not sure how many of you have heard about this, or if you've been following our our LinkedIn page, you must have heard about the Catalyst program. So Catalyst program is where we kind of seed the thought of the startup organization. So we engage with the startup organizations, and the staff within the organization mentor the startup organizations and design some of the business solutions that the organization is looking for. So it's partnering with a startup organization and working with them and designing a business solution. So what's the benefit? The benefit, of course, is to be understand the market competitiveness, and also work with all the startup organizations, then saying, we are a banking company and we won't work with anyone, and we know how it works. So we are, not having that mindset and being very open about exploring some of the options. And from a staff perspective, our staff get an opportunity to work with someone who is not part of the bank and get a perspective of how things are working outside the organization, and also mentor them to design the business solution that we are looking for. So, and this has been a beautiful engagement that we've had till date. In fact, we're done with the first version, and now we are starting with the second version. It's called the Catalyst 2.0. And for the technologists, we also have the Hackathon program, which is planned during August and September. This is like the coding competition kind of initiative, and we have been doing this year on year, and there has been a lot of success stories as well in this. So we have people who have participated in the hackathon, and based on, and we've given them awards, and later we've also been able to place some of them within the organization. Apart from this, some of the engagements that we have within the organization is also the development piece. So of course, one is ensuring we get the right people, which our recruitment team is doing, and after they are in, ensuring that we are able to give the right career path for all of them, right? So I'm sure everybody does have their career aspiration, and once they join the organization, after a certain time, they would like to discuss about that. So from that perspective, we have a process in place. It's called the career discussion. So every staff will have a career discussion, and that is when they'll be able, they get an option to really talk about the career aspiration that they have for themselves. And the discussion is conducted 3 ways. So you have the HR business partner, the line manager, and the staff themselves. And the discussion is more focused on what is the aspiration that this individual has and how can the organization support them. And that is why you have the other two people in the room, so that you understand the aspiration and the manager is able to comment about any of the development activities. I'm sorry, I'm just seeing some messages on the chat window. I'll just take the questions one by one. Sri Vidya says she can't hear. I hope I'm audible now. Just chat on the window if I'm still not audible. I'm really closer to the phone now. Right, so I was talking about the career discussion. So career discussion is definitely a complete focus for each of the individual in the organization, and understanding their career aspiration and helping them to tread towards the aspiration that they have put for themselves. And the organization also has a great support system to help them tread towards their aspiration. So we have a lot of training programs that are designed. So like any other organization, we do have a module which is available for each of them based on the developmental activities. However, during the career discussions, you could also ask for the tools or the programs that's going to help you with your career. And based on that, we also design some of the bespoke programs. So career discussions give you an opportunity to, look, kind of being self-aware of where you are and where you want to go to, and what's the gap and how do we bridge the gap? Is it through programs? Is it through buddying? Is it through mentoring, coaching? Yeah, so we kind of explore this and then decide on the action item, and the onus definitely rests with the individual. And we get the individual to kind of own up the action items and follow through this so that they're able to reach to the career aspiration that they have put for themselves. The reason that we do this is only because who owns the career of every individual? It is themselves. I think as an individual, if we're not steering our own career, I don't think any other help from the ecosystem is going to help. And hence the full onus rests on the individual on how they really steer this for themselves. In fact, just an additional point on this career discussion, probably this is one of a very niche thing I would call that we've created in Societie Generale. Very recently, as February, we did present the career discussion framework in WHRD, and got recognized as the innovation in career management. So there were various other organizations who did present themselves under this category of innovation in career management, and Societie Generale was one of the 3 who won the award. Only because of the nicheness of saying that we will have a career discussion for all the staff in the organization, whereas the others who did present were, saying we have the discussion for talent, or we just have it for one group of people, and so on. And also, from a career perspective, we do take all the input that goes into the career discussion is taken into building some of the, I would rather say, it's used to make some of the informed decisions that we do in the organization. And as an organization, we are also looking at this point of time, we are looking at increasing our footprint in the category of women in leadership. That, of course, there are 2 ways of doing this. One is to grow the women folks who's already in the organization. Plus, we're also looking at, getting good candidates, good potential women candidates from the market as well, who could be part of this journey. And generally for any such big decisions, like you would know, the leadership acceptance is really important. And as an organization, there's a pledge that each of the business leaders do want to kind of increase the women workforce in their organization. That said, definitely the capability and the strength and the skill set that each of you bring is what really will stand out. So when I said diversity, it's just not about getting the women folks on board. We do have a focus on different other diversity. One of them is the focus on people with disability and the workforce from Army. And yeah, so these are some of the things that we are focusing on. And from how do you develop women after they join us? We do have some programs within the organization. One of them, which is continued from last year to now, and hence probably I will take the opportunity to really talk about that, is called the Women in Leadership Program. So it's a 5-module program where we select some of the middle managers, the women with middle managers, to ensure that we build the potential, the pipeline for leadership. And we get all these women to go through a program where they are self-aware and they are able to, you know, self-mentor themselves and have an ambition and also tread that ambition. And I mean, this is a 5-module program and it's been well received, and hence we are continuing this year as well. From the leadership perspective, you would see our CEO herself is a woman, Veronique, and you must have, if you've been following our LinkedIn page, you must have seen the recent post that she had posted saying one of the best organizations for women to work in India. So that's another one, and I'm just looking at the questions. All right, so I am just going to take the questions one after the other. All right, so I have a question from Sneha. She's asking if there are any vacancy for anyone having less than 1 year experience in different field and is a fresher for banking. So from a job perspective, all the jobs that we have at any given point of time is posted on the SG Jobs, and you could take a look at it. And throughout the year, we do have requirements for people with different levels of experience. Okay. I hope that helps, Sneha. And do you have any? All right, so Indrani is having a question. She asked, do you have any training programs for people who wants to get back after work, after a break? At this point of time, we do not have anything like that, but however, do apply for the roles which you find suitable. And in the, I mean, as you join us, if there are and there's a need that you need to talk to somebody in the organization for some help or some coaching or mentoring, we should be able to engage you on that. Because we're starting on this just about now, so maybe in some time we may have a full-fledged program, but for now we will have something bespoke. So you could, I mean, if you have that interest, you should still go on and try with us. Is there any opening in HR? So that is Geetha Sharma asking. Yes, indeed. At this point of time, I do have some of the openings in the HR business partner team. Yeah, I'm looking for candidates, say from 6 years, so say from 8 years to 10 years. A couple of positions in at that category, and one senior level position as well. So yeah, if you want to apply, please go ahead and apply, or if you have any reference, do send it across. So for all the recruitment for some of the recruitment queries that you have, or sending the profiles and so on, you could send it to Pramod Mallikarjuna at socgen.com. I'll just spell his ID, PRAMOD.MALLIKARJUNA at socgen.com. As we conclude the call, I will again call out this email ID so that if you had missed it now, you could probably take a note then. Do you have content writing or technical writing positions is what Shweta is asking. At this point of time, I don't see any active positions on that in that category. But however, I would suggest still write a note to promote, or keep looking at the jobs that we post. And when something comes up, we would definitely love to explore good candidates for each of the positions that we have. All right. So just a minute. Right, these questions are coming really fast now. Padma is asking, do you have opportunities for women on break around 15 years? See, we are definitely not constraining, saying that we will not take women if they've had a break. We are happy to explore. So please do reach out to us and apply, and we will definitely have a discussion, and we will see how it goes, and from there we take it. So we do not have a rule saying we will not take women on break. Definitely that's not a rule that we have. So please feel confident to apply for roles that you seem that you fit as per the job description that's posted.
Hey Geetha, Padma here.
Yes, hi.
Hi. So the query was mine, which you just read out. It's around 1.5 years. The thing is, when you apply to a typical opportunity on your site and all, when they see a 1.5 years break, generally it's not considered. So I'm just trying to understand how to go about.
Well, like I said, we do not have a rule to say, if someone's on break, I won't take them. So as of now, like I said, you could definitely, send in your profile, or, write in to promote, and he will ensure that it is directed to the right person.
All right. Can you pass on Pramod's email ID?
It's PRAMOD.MALIKARJUNA@SocGen.com. Okay.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Srividya is asking, is there just a minute. So Srividya is asking, is there a restart program for women? Like I said, we haven't designed one as of now. But if there is any potential roles that you find which matches you, do reach out to us, and we will. To start off with, it could be bespoke, and probably in the longer run, we may be having something on that front.
Hi Geetha, I would like to check a little bit on the Catalyst program. The Catalyst program, you mentioned you had version 1 and followed by version 2, and
right.
The Catalyst program typically works with startups and things like that. Can you elaborate a bit on this? How does your process work, and what is the difference between version 1 and version 2?
Okay. All right, so version 1 was definitely the first time that we started off something like a Catalyst program, and version 2 is a more matured version of that. But to give the details on how the Catalyst program itself works, as an organization, there are a lot of business challenges that we have, and so all the verticals that we have within the organization did come up with the business challenge that they had. In the past, of course, these are solutions which are designed by our internal staff, right? But of course, there was plenty of opportunities available in the market where a lot of startups did have various solutions. So what we did was, instead of saying, okay, we'll design solutions, we said we will go to the market, and the two of both the organization plus the startup organization will put their heads and design a solution. And that's how that's what happened in the Catalyst one. And the startup organization are supposed to apply for this Catalyst program. We would have posted the problem or the business challenges that we have. Based on the business challenges, the startup companies will apply saying, I do have a solution for this business challenge, and this is how it looks like. And then we had a panel who would kind of talk to all the startups who applied and see who could be the best one that could work with us to design this business solution. And so we indeed took about, I think, 8 to 10 startup in Catalyst 1, and based on the solution, there were some organizations who were able to give work with us and design solution, and some of them were not able to. But of course, that was a known plunge that we took, saying, we will not all the 10 people are going to come up with the best solution. We would have some of them which is really fantastic, and some of them could just not get through it. But that was a known plunge that we took, and yeah, it's gone well. And there are lessons that we've learned from Catalyst 1. probably have to onboard, what are the things we should present, what are the business challenges that we should talk versus the one that we can design internally and so on. So based on the learnings, we've launched the next version, which is the Catalyst 2. So that's on the program, and you will also find a lot of this right up on LinkedIn. So you could, when you get an opportunity, you should probably go look up that as well. Do you have
Thank you so much for that.
Sure, thank you. I will put Pramod's email ID on the chat window as well. So just at the end of the conversation, I'll do so that it's not lost in the questions that you're asking. I have around 12 years, Srividya, I have around 12 years plus in IT and with 10 years in BI, DWH, Informatica, along with project manager experience. Do we have any openings that are at Bangalore? I do not have a count of all the job openings that we have at this point of time, but with whatever skill set you've put there, Srividya, I'm sure there is something. So please look up those jobs with us and do apply, or again, send your profile to Pramod, and he should be able to direct it to the right recruiters. Do you have any openings for big data and analytics, is what Gayatri is asking. Yes, that is something which is really picking up in the market, and as a player in the market, that is an area that we are focusing as well. So yes, we are having some of these opportunities in this area as well, so you can apply for that. In fact, as recently as say about 6 or 8 months ago, we even have a new team, which is the RPA team, which is the robotics process automation. So there are a lot of process we are trying to RPA, and hence you would find all these technologies does play in with the requirement that we have. Does SG work in accessibility field? Usability testing is something Raj is asking. I am not too sure, Raj, so that is a question that I'll have to come back to you a little later. Any opportunities with cloud services? Again, that's a technology that we're exploring, and a lot of the products that we're buying, definitely we are exploring as to is it public cloud or private cloud, and hence having people with that knowledge does help. We will be starting out on having these positions open soon. Someone please mute the call. Okay. Is it true that since we are coming back to work after a while, we will not be paid the same that we were earning earlier? Is it kind of a trade-off that one has to make? Good question. Indeed, a lot of women have this question. But the straight answer is because you've had a break does not mean that you will not be paid in par, right? So as an organization, the way we work is independent of gender. When we identify an incumbent for a role, the role will be paid an X amount, right? For example, I have a role X, and we would have done a benchmarking for the salary to say this role X will be paid, say 10 lakhs. And independent of whoever the incumbent is it a male, is it a female, is it someone having a break, not having a break, will still be paid according to the role. And if the incumbent is someone who happens to satisfy the requirement of the role, then that incumbent is exactly paid for the role. So hence you need not worry about will I be paid less versus another woman or another man who's not had a break. It's an interesting question because this is something which always keeps going on at the back of the head for a lot of women. But being in HR, I can say, or I can really vouch that it's definitely on the benchmarking that we've done for the role and not for the incumbent. And as an incumbent, if you possess all the qualities that we need for the role, then you're exactly paid what anybody else would have got paid in that role. All right, and okay, I didn't get the name. It says waiting for names. So that person does. Do you have opportunity for people of experience in technology and want to move to project management or business analytics? there are roles in project management and business analytics in one of the functions at this point of time. So, in fact, if you have if you're a well-rounded, if you have the experience of being in technology and want to move into project management, why not? Why not? You should even look out for that. And we do have some of the opportunities there. All right. Do you have any opportunity, Dr. Nuzhat Jahan is asking, do you have any opportunity in HR talent acquisition in Mumbai? Well, in Mumbai at this point of time, I doubt if we have an opportunity, and we have an extremely small setup. So I'm not aware of any opportunity that we have in TA in Mumbai at this point of time. But again, just do check with Pramod as well if there are any opportunities at this point of time. Which are the analytics tool which SG uses? Which are the BI tools SG projects are typically executed in? If you can elaborate a bit on this. I do not have the details of which tools, but there are plenty of tools. So I'm going to come back to you on that, Srividya. Okay. So Gayatri asks me that she has been in the retail banking for about 2.5 years. Like I said, the gap that you have really doesn't matter if you are someone who could understand what's the requirement and you're able to match it with your previous experience, and if you see that it works, then you should just go and apply. So the break doesn't really matter. So Usha's asking, I worked with investment bank for 4 years and 5 months in operations. Currently, do you have any opening in operations? Yes, as an organization, we do have openings in operations and technology and some in the shared service as well. So please look up for the positions that are advertised and apply. So the way we will work is based on your application, of course, you will have the recruiters reach out to you to have an initial discussion to see how the job that we have fits with the skill set that you bring. And based on that, we will organize a discussion. Right, so the next question I have is from Sindhu. 17 years of IT experience in BFSI domain, 9+ in IT quality management and IT internal process audits with experience in CMMI, ISO audits, apply for audit openings with jobs for her. Considering. Okay. All right, so Sindhu is asking that she's applied for one of the roles that we have in the audit, and not having a CISA or CIA, would you be considering the certification? So I'm sure, Sindhu, one of our recruiters have reached out to you by now. If not, I'm sure after the call we will have someone reach out to you, and during the discussion with the recruiter you could understand more about the role and which are definite requirements of the role and which are some of them which is flexible. Gayatri is asking if there are any openings in the retail banking. Again, about the positions that's advertised, it's all up on the job site. So you should just look up that, and if there is any, to apply. What are the kind of work-life balance highlights you have in SG? Are there work from home options? Is there any crash facility near office or in the office? A good question, Danya. That should have been somewhere in my introduction, but I kind of didn't talk about it. All right, so if you kind of look up some of the comments that people have written about Societie Generale in social media, you would realize that work-life balance is one of them that they've highlighted. What that means is, as an individual, you're able to balance both work and your personal life, only because we definitely work 9 to 5, but there are some of the teams who work in shift and so on. So it's, and there are, from a workload perspective as well, there is some filtering as to, what's the kind of, how much of work is given to one person versus the other. So that definitely allows work-life balance. While that's one of the pointers, the other one is also about the individual to make their planning as to how they're going to manage this between their work and life. So that is one. And the next question, are there work from home options? Yes. Again, we are one of those late bloomers in this area, but of course, we've just started off with the work from home option. We did a pilot late last year, and it's worked out to be a success, and hence, yes, we've launched the work from home option. However, this is open to people after they complete 6 months with us. In fact, the work from home option is a little more flexible of either you can choose 2 days in a week to work from home, or you can choose the hours that you work from home so that you beat the traffic and you come in early, go early, or come in late, go late, or you can even choose to do remote working, like half a day at work and half a day at home, and so on. There are multiple options in the flexibility in the work flexibility. Definitely depends on the role that you are in, and the discussion that you have with your line manager is also important to ensure that the entire team does acknowledge and everybody gets an opportunity to do to have the flexibility at work. Is there any crash facility? Yes, the Voyager office that we have here has crash right on the 4th floor of the same building. Apart from that, we've also tied up with LA Childcare, which is within the ITPL campus, and women who have young children can put their children there, and they get some subsidized price for the daycare option that's there. All right. Then I have Lata. Are there positions only for Bangalore? Well, we have positions. Are there positions only for Bangalore? We have positions both in Bangalore and in Chennai. So you could apply for roles in either of these locations. Sri Vidya asked, should we do certain trainings in the meantime due to the gap? Although is it okay to change technology and do new trainings, say from BI to analytics? How will this be perceived by the recruiters? This more than perception of the recruiters, I would really suggest looking at being self-aware as to what do you want to do, and if you have a strong belief in what you've taken up for yourself, and probably that is what you should explore in. And when you're talking to recruiters as well, you may want to mention that this is an area that you're interested in, hence you've made this change, and it depends on how comfortable you are in the area that you've chosen versus the perception of the recruiter. So Danya is asking, as soon as someone gets into SG, will there be a mentor assigned to her so that they can work upon their career with women who are already successful in there, not just the manager who's assigned to by default? As of now, there is no specific program to say as soon as you join, you will have a mentor, but definitely once you join, if you, kind of believe that you need a mentor who could help you in your career, you just have to walk up and ask your line manager or consult with your HR, the business partner, and I'm sure you will be assigned with a career mentor at work. And more often than not, I've seen people identifying that for, a mentor for themselves. If not, you could also seek help from your HR partner to help you identify a mentor for yourself. And in fact, I think that will be a great move to have someone who could help you, tread through your career and mentor you through the do's and don'ts and what's worked well for them and what should you watch out and so on. So it's a good thing to start off having a career mentor. All right, so I do not have any more. Okay, I have another question. Indrani, I have around 9 years of experience in data warehouse. I'm interested in business analyst role. I've not worked as business analyst, but aware of what they can do. Can I apply for business analyst role in your company? All right, Indrani, interesting question, but again, with 9 years of experience, I mean, again, till we have, if you believe that you have some experience in this area that you're specifying, and you could still apply, and I would still say have an exploratory discussion with the recruiters to understand what could you do, because having somebody with no experience will also be a challenge, right? Because we want to set up people to win, and hence it should, from both the sides, we should be sure that we have put the right candidate, and also for yourself to believe that you are the right candidate for this role. So instead of having an assumption, I would still suggest have a discussion, talk about what you know about this role versus what this role could be, and probably based on the discussion, you may be able to, maybe you will get an answer for yourself. So yeah, I would still suggest that have that exploratory discussion with our recruiters. Okay, I do not see any other questions on this window. I'm going to give it a minute, and if I don't see any questions on the chat window, I think we can, yeah, in the last 20 minutes, you could just ask me questions on the phone. Okay, I am just typing Pramod's email ID so that all of you have it. All right, I have keyed in Pramod's email ID. I'm sure he's going to have a rush of emails. So, all right, I just had one question here. Do they expect that we be willing to take up junior roles also if need arises due to the career gap? All right, Srividya. So, I don't think we would. It won't be because. All right, I'll answer this in a different way. So you won't be, or anybody won't be given a junior role just because you've had a gap, right? So the way we will look at is we have this role which exists and we need an incumbent to fill this role. Whoever happens to be the right incumbent, independent of the career gap that you've had or not, will be selected for the role. So the career gap really won't play a role unless you are the right incumbent for this role that we have. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Okay, Tanuja is asking for the email ID. Ladies, I've sent the email ID just now. So if not, I'm just going to retype it when we close the close this webinar. Raj is asking on jobs for her site, applied to an opening in SG 3 weeks back. Can't see the status. All right, I'm going to check with the recruiters and definitely going to let them know that you've applied, and you will have one of the recruiters reach out to you. Okay, Geetima is just confirming if this is the email ID. Yes, that is the email ID. You got the spelling right too. Right, I will, as we end the call, I will put an email ID, Pramod's email ID and the job site URL as well. Your hearing pauses because there are no questions on the chat window. All right, so if there are no questions on the chat window, I think for the last, say 15 minutes, I think we could open the call. Just one question apart from Srividya, should we do some certification in the meantime? Will it give us an edge? See, any learning I would say is a good thing. So if, but choose the certifications that are relevant to you. That choose the certifications that are relevant to what you've done in the past versus what you want to do in the future. Do not do certifications just because it's going to add up on your resume. Someone having like a dozen certification and is not applying it in their real life or not using the technology is not going to go far. So it's really about choosing the right certification. So do not do certifications just because, okay, I have a gap, so I have to do something, and hence I'm doing that. Use the gap that you have for the right reason, saying, I want to do the certification because I have done X kind of job in the past, and hence doing the certification is going to be an added advantage for me to be one of the potential candidates in the future. Or I want to do the certification because this is the emerging trend in the market, and hence doing this could help me to be one of those, the competitive one of those competitive candidate in the market. So have the reasons for why you do the certification than just doing it for the sake of doing it. Right. All right. So Ashwini is asking me a question. She has, what would be the difficulty level in interview? How would it be different from normal interview process? Well, we are not here to make the interview process difficult. We really want to, kind of have the right candidate for the right role. So that is the only intention of interviews. Definitely don't want to make it difficult to say, I don't, want this candidate or something. So we are here arms open to receive the right candidate. So if you are the right candidate with the right skill for the role that we have, then yeah, we're all happy to get you here on board to you along with us. Yeah. Tanuja says, I worked as a test lead and aspiring for a manager role. Can I do this? Yes, you can, but you will have to still have that exploratory discussion to see why you want to do this, and what is that you bring to the table versus what we have to offer. And if both of that meets, why not? And then Geetima asked, apply for the requirement you have in the HR. You said, please go ahead and apply. We are looking for more candidates there. Indrani says she's happy to apply for entry-level analyst role. Yes, please go ahead and apply. Right. So I think that's the flood of questions. I hope I've taken all your questions. And I know I've parked 3 questions saying that I'm going to come back to you. Apart from that, if I've missed any questions, do just retype if you don't mind so that I have it as the active chat on the window. All right, so Srividya says, should we mention other hobbies that you pursued in the meantime during the gap in the resume? Will it add value? See, it will definitely give a perspective about the individual, Srividya. So more than... All right, so Srividya, more than, will that add value? I think it'll give a perspective to someone who's having that discussion with you to know that, well, this person has spent time doing something else. So yeah, it's always good to put good information about you in the resume. So. All right, so looks like that's the last question. We have 11 more minutes.
Hi Geeta, this is Tanuja here.
Hi, Tanuja.
If I go to careers with Society General, I'm getting a lot of them and I'm not able to search it properly. So I'm sorry, I'm asking this help.
No worries. So I will have, yeah, as like I said, by end of the conversation, end of this call, I will send the link for the job portal as well, so that you could look up the jobs that we have in SCGSA.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tanuja.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies, looks like no the chat. Oh, all right. Every time I say this, somebody sends a question. I have a question regarding my resume. Should I be part of? Should I be a part-time technical job I pursue during the break while applying for a full-time? All right. So Dania is asking, should I add the part-time technical job that she pursued during a break while applying for a full-time? Of course, why not? Because that clearly says that you were engaged with some things. So it's good to put that as well on your resume. All right. Do we have part-time roles as well, is what Shivad is asking. At this point of time, we do not have part-time roles, but I mean, yeah, at this point of time, we do not have part-time roles, but in the near future, we should be exploring. So if you have interest in part-time, probably we will just, park your interest for some time and we'll come back to you when we really have a full-fledged program around that. But definitely we're exploring, and I'm aware of it, and hence I'm using the word definitely. Do you have? Swati is asking, are there any walk-in interviews going on? At this point of time, no, but we did have an event a week or 2 weeks ago, which was focused just on the women workforce. So again, for any of those positions that we have put up on the LinkedIn, that we put up on the job site, please do look up that. And if there are any recruitment drives that are happening as well, you will find that on either our job site or the LinkedIn post. Yes, so one more last question to go, if anybody wants to ask. So I think I just missed a question. So Lata had asked, do you have telecommuters? Well, the work, if you're working during traffic, as of now, it's not counted as, it's not counted in the working hours. But like I said, we do have the flexibility of choosing flexible hours, remote locations, or, a couple of days in a week versus the choice of early hours versus late hours and so on. Oh, all right. Okay. Yes, Srividya, for the question, on the parked questions, you will hear a response from us, but you could also send that to Promote. That should be okay. And Lata says she's based out of Pune. As of now, we do not have an option where we have someone in a different location and can work for us in Bangalore or Chennai. So you will have to come to work sometime, if not every day. So yeah, at this point of time, sorry, I do not have a very hopeful answer for you, Lata. All right, so I reckon we do not have any more questions on the chat window, and I reckon we can close this call if none of you have any questions.
Sure, Geetha. This is Smita here, who's coordinating this session for you, and it's been very
Yes, Mita.
yeah, it's been very informative, Geetha, and that's why I think you answered almost all of the queries. So that's why we have not have any questions left to ask.
Thank you, Smita, and thank you, ladies, for joining me on this webinar. And like I said, you can send in your resumes to Pramod, or if you have any other questions, do route it through him, and we will come back to you. And last not the least, but having a break does not mean you are, that you can't apply for a job. You are like any other candidate, and if you believe in that, just go and apply for the roles that we have at this point of time. All the very best. Let's see how many of us we are able to join us soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Geetha. Thank you. Bye. We'll end the session now. Thank you, ladies.